the eyes of the painting. When Annalena died, I didn't feel much. I barely knew her. She was a distant, mysterious figure who was rarely talked about in the family. Supposedly, she had become strange with age, and no one wanted to visit her in her old house, isolated on the hill. I, however, had no other options. I had just been fired from my job. My apartment lease was about to expire, and I had nowhere to go. So when they told me she left the house, I accepted without hesitation. The house was just as I imagined, old, creaky, smelling of damp wood and decay. But it was mine, and that was enough. I planned to renovate it, maybe sell it. I would spend a few weeks there, just long enough to get things in order. The first night, while exploring the place with a flashlight, I entered the main living room. It was huge, with a large window covered by heavy curtains, a fireplace boarded up with planks, and a painting. It was hung above the fireplace. It was enormous, at least 6 feet tall, with a dark frame intricately carved with symbols that looked like thorns or claws. In the center, a man with a long face, pale skin, and dark, lifeless eyes. He wore a black coat, as if from another century. His gaze pierced my bones from the very first second. It was as though the painted figure knew I was watching him. It was as though he had been waiting for me to arrive. There was no name, no plaque, no artist's signature. Just that gaze. That damn gaze. The feeling didn't leave me in the following days. Every step I took in the living room, the eyes of the painting followed me. I checked multiple times. I moved quickly, changed angles, even spied on it from the door. It was always there, watching. I tried to ignore it. I blamed it on exhaustion, on my imagination. But the nights began to weigh on me. I dreamed about the painting. Sometimes it was just the image, floating in darkness. Other times I saw it at the foot of my bed, its dark eyes glowing in the dim light. In one of those dreams, the man spoke to me. "Don't close your eyes." I never do. I woke up gasping for air. Cold sweat, dry mouth. From then on, I couldn't go into the living room. I kept the door locked. Even so, I felt the painting watching me from the other side. I felt its presence behind the wall. One morning, I found the door open. I swear I had closed it the night before. The living room was silent, but the portrait seemed to have changed. Its expression was more intense, its lips slightly curved. It wasn't a smile. It was a threat. I decided to cover it. I grabbed a sheet and, with all the courage I could muster, I climbed a ladder and covered the painting. My hands were trembling. When I did, a cold draft swept through the room. It felt so real. I thought I had opened a window. That night, I slept better, until I was woken by a thud. I went to the living room and found the sheet on the floor, the painting uncovered, the eyes wider than ever. Something changed inside me. It wasn't fear anymore. It was rage. I screamed, cursed at it, threw a chair. The painting didn't flinch. But when I left the living room, I thought I saw a shadow in the frame, as though the man had moved just an inch. The next day, I took a photo of the portrait to an antique shop in town. A gray-haired man with thick glasses took the photo and paled. "This is one of Jacob Rice's pieces," he said in a low voice. "A cursed artist. They said he captured more than faces, that his paintings contained parts of the soul. Some called him the collector of gazes. He explained that many of his paintings had disappeared or been destroyed, that in every case, the owners claimed they had been stalked by the painted figures until they lost their minds, until they disappeared. If that painting came to you," he said, "it's because it chose you. I tried to get rid of it. I took it to the attic, covered it with blankets, and nailed it to the wall. But every night I kept dreaming, and every time it was closer. One midnight, I heard footsteps. I opened my eyes. There was no one. I looked at the foot of the bed, and there it was. Not the painting. Him, the man from the portrait, standing there, motionless, watching me. His eyes so real I felt exposed, trapped. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I just stared back at him until he blinked. I passed out. Since then, I can't sleep with the lights off. I moved. I sold the house. I burned the attic. But when I arrived at my new apartment, there it was, the painting, hanging in the hallway. Even though I didn't bring it, even though I swear I destroyed it, I try to ignore it. But every day, the eyes are wider. Its expression changes. It studies me. It waits for me. And sometimes at night, I see my reflection in its pupils, but it no longer looks like me.